Hello. So welcome to the Expressions Encrypter. This is your UI. You'll get this little welcome message when you come in. And as its name implies, it will encrypt your expressions. So over here, I've got scale properties, a bunch of lines of expressions in there. And again, this is default, so you pick and choose. If you want to encrypt all layers in the composition, so you select the composition in your project panel. You've got different options here for layers and also one for masks, and you can select individual layers. Of course, you can select more than one at a time. And similarly with properties, you can select one or more properties in the same composition before you encrypt. So there's also a minify, we'll touch on that later. By default it's off, as you can see. So what does encryption do? Well, essentially it looks at your variables. What's happening? You need to select a property, and it encrypts your variables. So if you look at the last line here, everything's encrypted. And the whole idea is if you're selling your templates or you're sending this out to a client, everything works as expected after encryption. But you don't want someone to make minor or even major changes and then use it without your permission. Alright, so expressions are your IP, your code. If you do simple expressions, then obviously you don't need this, but if you do mid-level to high-level expressions, Expressions Encrypter is something that's gonna give you peace of mind and eventually save you a lot of money. Alright, so that was a single property, and obviously you can do it to a layer. Let's look at the other options. If you enable minify options, you can minify only, or if you click here, it would encrypt and minify because it's been enabled here. Get the idea? This button is for when you only want to minify without encryption, for whatever purpose. So maybe let's see what minify does. And it's got these few options. You can remove comments. So you can see all your comments are gone. I'm gonna undo. Okay, yeah. And remove empty lines and comments. And then third option, which is not enabled by default because sometimes this creates problems. You will get an expression error. For those of you who do not end your JavaScript or expression statement with a semicolon. If you don't do that, you're going to get an error, and I'll show that to you shortly. But for now, let's do a quick minify. So let's go full screen. So you can see everything gets packed together. Alright, that's what minify does. And this is what it looks like, the original. And this is minify with all the options enabled. Now I'm gonna undo and remove this semicolon, and it works because After Effects is pretty forgiving if you don't put a semicolon. But if you minify it, the Expressions Encrypter follows a stricter version or rendition or reading of your expressions / JavaScript. So you'll get an error, and the error is pretty standard. You'll see these everywhere, right? Syntax error, unexpected identifier. You see that, you know it's an expression error. You do an undo. Look at your code and see which line is missing a semicolon at the end. Okay. Now, if you encrypt, you get something like this. So, as you can see, it's someone who wants to come or seeing this for the first time, they're gonna have problems trying to understand what's happening. So the whole idea is to make it difficult, very, very difficult for someone to want to reuse your work in a way that you don't want them to. So okay, I'm going to look at this other one. This composition has, it's this guy here. It's got 107 expressions. So there are a few expressions here. So let's try the layer option with this guy. And that's it. It was almost instantaneous, and as you can see, everything's been encrypted and minified. It's very, very nice, very, very safe. Next, we'll look at composition. If you select composition, you would select it in your project panel. So I'm going to select this guy, ensure my settings are fine. I've got minimum number of characters I want to use. You can crank this out. Oh, you've got different options also. Let me come back here quickly. Alright, so I'll show you the different options. Minimalist. Oh shit. I had it set to composition. Do that. Come to properties, select this guy, encrypt, so you can see. So minimalist will use a small character set, and the whole idea is it looks confusing. Everything looks the same, doesn't it? We just had a quick look, but they are different. You can use numbers only, so only numbers. You can also use a custom character set, so you can put your name in there, and followed by some numbers, so it becomes almost like a digital signature, right? So everything is randomized using my name and a set of numbers. Lastly, it's this guy. This one's pretty heavy. Like I said, it's got 107 expressions in this one composition, and it's quite a setup. It's also got other frame sizes. They're all connected to this guy. If I come here and open the Essential Graphics panel, this one panel controls actually all these compositions. They're all different frame sizes. So this is actually an example of an adaptive motion graphics template. So you deliver one template to the client, but inside this timeline, you've got different nested compositions, and even if they have essential graphics, these will also be changed. If you choose the radio button option for compositions, when you want to select a composition, you would do it in the project panel. So obviously in this composition, all the expressions have been encrypted, and there's a help screen here. Well, not help screen, but a separate help window. So some general instructions, common errors, MFAQ, scope options. Those are your radio buttons. We've covered that. The encryption options, minify options, where to get support, some extra info, your license agreement, and just a big thank you to our beta testers. And if you want to help us do some tests for future versions of this product or future products, drop me a line. Alrighty, cheers.